So Jesus has just had his Passover meal with his friends, and Judas has left that meal, gone off to betray Jesus. And so Jesus and his friends, they leave now that Passover meal and they go to the Garden of Gethsemane. Now the garden was an olive tree grove like this. I've brought you out here to show you, although of course for Jesus this would have been at night. And so I'm going to pick up the story in Mark's Gospel, and it says, they went to the olive grove called Gethsemane, and Jesus said, "Sit here while I go and pray." He took Peter, James and John with him, and he became deeply troubled and distressed. He told them, "My soul is crushed with grief to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me." He went on a little further and fell to the ground. He prayed if it were possible that the awful hour awaiting him might pass him by. "Abba, Father," he cried out, "everything is possible for you. Please take this cup of suffering away from me. Yet I want your will to be done, not mine." Then he returned and found the disciples asleep. And he said to Peter, "Simon, are you asleep? Couldn't you watch with me even for 1 hour? Keep watch and pray so that you will not give in to temptation, for the spirit is willing, but the body is weak." Then Jesus left them again and prayed the same prayer as before. When he returned to them again, he found them sleeping, for they couldn't keep their eyes open, and they didn't know what to say. When he returned to them a third time, he said, "Go ahead and sleep, have your rest." But no, the time has come. The Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Let's be going. Look up, my betrayer is here. What stands out to you in that story? I think for me there are 5 choices that Jesus makes in this story that we could possibly relate with. I mean, first of all, there's the fact that Jesus shares the same fears and anxieties that we do, so he can identify with the place that we're at. He knows that sense of fear and overwhelming sorrow. So do you relate with that? Or do you relate with this sense that even though Jesus had such a close and intimate relationship with his Father, he still felt that it was necessary to go to other people, to go to his friends and the disciples and say, "Can you pray for me?" Does that relate with where you're at? What else from this story? Do you relate with the sense and the feeling that Jesus had when you go to your friends when you need them the most and they are not there for you? They're asleep or they're preoccupied and they simply are not there for you. Do you recognize that? Or what about this consistent way that Jesus keeps coming back to the disciples? He comes to them 3 times, and God keeps giving us opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to get it right. Do you relate with that part of the story? Or what about this thing of seeking for the will of God? Do you recognize that yearning, that thing of like, "God, I don't know what you're asking, but no matter what, Lord God, I want to be in a place of faith and expectation. I want, Father, whatever you've got for me." Do you relate with that part of the story? Or are you more in touch with the disciples? Do you know what it is like to be so depressed, so overwhelmed with anxiety and sorrow, to be so just overwhelmed that all you can do is sleep? No matter, you just keep sleeping, and you just don't have the energy. Do you relate with that? Do you relate with the bit of the story where you have that sense that somehow you are always letting God down? That no matter how hard you try, you simply are not getting it right. You're not doing it right. You're not doing enough. What in this story relates to you? But don't you see, that's the beauty of this story. That's the beauty of actually coming to this place of Gethsemane and actually spending some time here and saying, "Lord God, in this place, no matter where I am on the story, whether I am like Jesus and I'm getting and trying to find my place of faith in you, to know what your will is, or whether I'm right down the other end of the spectrum and I'm like the disciples and I've got no faith for anything. In fact, I don't even have the strength to begin this story. There is hope for us, because no matter where you fit in this story, you have a God who is there with you in this story, and Jesus starts wherever you're at. So this Easter, find yourself, take yourself to the garden, spend some time, work out where you're at, who you identify with, and understand there's hope for you, because no matter where you start this journey, you have a God who is willing to start in that place with you, and he is willing to walk you through, right through. Let me pray. Father, we come to you in this place in the knowledge that we will find Jesus here with us. We come, Lord God, to this place, and we thank you so much that you will lead us on this Easter week through to the cross. And Lord God, we will find you, and we will find you in the cross, and we will find you, Lord God, in Resurrection Sunday. And we thank you for your commitment to start this journey with us no matter where we're at. You are our God who always gives us hope. Amen.